everybody. Melissa Brandon with Startup Prize, and welcome. We are here with another Founder Spotlight, and today I am joined by Karen Maschi of Veza Innovations. Karen,
Hello.
welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Super excited to catch up today. Before we get started, why don't you give everyone like a quick elevator pitch? Who are you,
Sure.
and what is Veza Innovations all about?
So I am Karen Maschi, as you just said. I'm the founder of Veza Innovations, and we are a sustainable consumer products health company focused on parent and child wellness and early childhood development. And we will be launching later this year with some groundbreaking physician-backed products for both parent and child.
I love it. You want to tell, are you
Yeah.
still working on the same thing you were working on? Your product?
Yeah. So we were, okay, so I spent 20 years in the entertainment industry running operations and pivoted with when my son Logan was about 7 months old and he hated sitting in his high chair and mealtime became a disaster and he wouldn't eat and pediatricians were telling me he had to gain weight and I didn't know what to do and I was a stressed out parent. And there was nothing on the market that gave Logan an option to be in a position he felt most comfortable, where he was also supported properly and it was in a safe position. So our flagship product under Veza Innovations is we are patent pending on the first ever sit to stand convertible high chair. And it really is something that applies to every child, including those that have diverse medical needs, such as ADHD, autism, reflux, and a whole slew of medical challenges that I know I'm not even aware of yet.
Right? Well, okay. So take us back. You participated in Startup. You were, in fact, one of our 2024 finalists. So you were just with us last year. Take us back to kind of maybe where your company was prior
Hmm.
to competing or during the process. Do you
Yeah.
kind of like what were like maybe like where those like milestones
Yeah.
just out of reach or kind of where you were in your journey to
That's a, yeah, just out of reach feels like a good phrase because we had our alpha prototype created, which is kind of for some of those people who are not in the physical product space. It's kind of like the beginning prototype where we could be beta testing, but it wasn't the version we were going to market with. So we are now in a position where we are almost done with what they call the MVP, the minimum viable product, which we'll go to market with. Um, so it feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel in terms of getting to launch, getting our product to launch. So we will be we're hoping to launch at Q4 of this year. So we have our product development company that is also signed on now as the founder is an investor,
Mhm.
and we're moving pretty quick, and it's definitely different than where we were.
Wow. That is a big change. That's super exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Um, I wonder if you could kind of maybe speak to, as you said, you have a strong background kind of in marketing and media even. I mean, like I know you used to do
Mhm.
like some little bit of in front of the camera yourself. Uh,
I did.
how did how did you, I mean, I guess you kind of talked about it, but like how has that transition been moving from more media focused to maybe a consumer product has I mean, is marketing as straightforward as you thought it would be? Is it a little bit more of a challenge?
So it's interesting because, well, there's many from going from I was an executive producer in the entertainment advertising space. And it's pretty cool how transferable that role is to now running a company because it's all about execution and strategy and trying to think 10 steps ahead and managing fires and all the ups and downs, which entrepreneurship certainly has, every day is sometimes every hour or ups and downs.
Sure.
Um, but I would say marketing wise, it's just helpful because I kind of know what to expect. I have the connections that when we're ready to do mass launch in terms of really getting out there in the media and whether it's Today Show or Good Morning America or different celebrities, we have the access to that. So um, it's only been helpful. It's been really interesting and cool to just have all these different, you know, lenses, if you will, what lens.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's been really awesome.
I love that. So it's great to have this kind of in your back pocket. What has been
Yes.
maybe more challenging? Like, it's a transition, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
I've gone from like a very focused role to like
Yes.
kind of looking at everything. So what in that transition, what maybe has been one of your bigger challenges?
That's a really good question. I think that the hardest thing has been um, going to, we bootstrapped up into a certain point, and now we're in a fundraise.
Mhm.
And raising capital is ridiculously hard. And I don't, uh, I think it's something you just have to keep at
Mhm.
and meet different people. And so going from an industry where I had nothing to do with investors and meeting people and understanding the raise and how that works, like that was the biggest challenge. And I always equate it to, when my husband had changed sales roles, he changed territories and he changed roles. And, I always equate it to it took about 2 years for him to see the commission he thought he would by building his territory. I see that very similarly because I totally changed worlds and
Yeah.
had to kind of immerse myself and just network into a new space. So I think that's, uh, finding the right connections and the right contacts and just you're starting over.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it seems like you've
Yeah.
you've found some folks because
Trying.
I mean, you're like right on your way. So, okay, we talked a little bit, but I'd wonder if you could kind of, you know, speak to kind of like those next big milestones. So, like, we're about to go into market Q4 of this year.
Yes, the biggest milestones now are continuing to capital raise, securing our manufacturers because that's challenging with tariff changes,
Mhm.
and figuring out where we think that it will be the safest and the best, and continue to have our healthy margins based on where we manufacture. Um, and I mean those are the two, upcoming milestones before we do our full out marketing, like pre-sales and things of that nature to go to launch. The manufacturing is a big strategic effort.
I would imagine. Well, there's a lot of things to consider, right? So, and a lot
Correct.
of things to watch with the current
Correct.
political climate. So, there's still a lot of things that are up in the air, and you got to kind of,
Yes, I do feel happy that I did not launch yet,
yeah.
like as in last year,
Mhm.
because there's so many changes that for small companies to have to pivot could really take someone down,
Yeah.
a, a company down. So I'm happy that I can be thoughtful about the process.
That's
Um,
actually a really nice way of looking at it, in some ways. Like, it can
yeah,
be.
I mean, I would have loved to launch already, but from that perspective, I'm glad I didn't.
All right. So, anything that like the Startup Prize community can help you with, like as you're kind of heading towards this next big milestone, you said like you're
Mhm.
kind of working on your manufacturing and things like that. How can we help?
I think that, you know, aside from, you know, people who might have an expertise in manufacturing, we are really looking for 2 to 3 more investors to close out our round.
Mhm.
And so we are currently in the middle of a raise, and the funds that we're using will not only get us into market, but will allow us to become cash flow positive. So it's we are very mindful of our spend and always have been, in terms of just the way that I manage,
Mhm.
finances and things of that nature. But really our capital raise and manufacturing are the two biggest pieces for us where we'd love to, collaborate with the right strategic minds.
I love that. Well, for anyone out there who is considering Startup Prize, what do you say to them?
It's such a unique, um, I don't want to call it platform. What would you call it? A unique
Competition.
group
Yeah.
competition. See, it's so I look at it as I was able to meet so many different types of people, from founders to investors to experts in their area.
Mhm.
Um, and just kind of soak it all in. And one of the coolest things is that you guys do follow us and you do try, your best to do that and still reach out. And that I think is also a big differentiator because many um, competitions, if you will, kind of say, here you are and see you later. So that's just such a um, nice thing that everyone really does try to support the people that they meet from your side.
Yeah, well, like I said, well, I mean, we love it. We're excited.
Mr. Karen.
We're like your biggest cheerleader. So we're always like here to like cheer on everyone's successes. And we want for everybody. You know? Well, all right. One last easy one. One last easy.
Sure.
I'm always curious. Like, what's your getaway? Like, if you need to like just like take a brain break from this. And like I know we all have families and like we have our people, but like you're true, like if you had like 30 minutes to just disappear,
hmm
where are you going? What are you doing?
I'd say either a really deep tissue massage
Oh,
or a good relaxing meditation.
I love that. I love it. All
Yeah.
right.
I think those are just where I can be at peace and have quiet.
Yes, it's hard to find that sometimes. For
It's hard to find that, especially with kids.
All right, Karen. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. As you guys heard, right now, Veza Innovations is looking for investment. They're also looking for maybe some strategic thinking around manufacturing. So if that is your expertise level, feel free. I know Karen would love to hear from you. And Karen, you know what we're going to end with,
Yes,
right?
I do.
All right. Then on the count of three, we'll take it out. Ready? One, two.
Two. Viva la San Woohoo!